Bren is making a good move. The price could do anything in the next 24 hours. I have no idea if it's a great price to buy, but just directionally, we know that more adoption, not less, is likely in the next leg up. Here are all the brokers ranked by advisory assets, and Morgan Stanley was the first to be able to offer Bitcoin ETFs. Wells Fargo is expected to be next. But in terms of where the price of Bitcoin is going, 2 days ago everyone was talking about more crashes. A recession is expected. Obviously the US Treasury had to step in. Now the sentiment seems to be changing. This price, to get a real sense of where it's going to be in the short term, it all comes down to the macro. I think you actually have to look at the facts that we have. I mean, Peter Krause from Aperture Investors really lays out where we are right now in terms of assessing the macro climate. The last 3 or 4 weeks before the sell-off were Mag 7 stocks were actually unreasonably exuberant. You know, they became much more volatile. They made significant moves, daily moves, and then we saw this economic number. Unemployment went from 4.1 or 4.2 to 4.3. And everyone thought the world was ending. Of course, 3 days later, we got the ISM numbers, and they were supposed to be contracting. The ISM numbers actually showed expansion. And of course, all of a sudden, the world decided we were in a recession, a hard landing, and you should sell everything. I think what's happening is that the market is kind of directionless right now. I mean, there's not a lot of natural buying or natural selling in the market, and investors are trying to wait to see what's really going on in the economy. If you look at earnings, you have some earnings that are strong and some earnings that are weak. There are some industries that are weaker, you know, automotive is one of them, but there are some industries that are actually doing quite well. So I think what's happening is that momentum is taking over and people are selling. They have positions, they feel they are mispositioned in a market that is clearly volatile, and that's why you're seeing these big daily moves. I think that's probably going to continue until September. And what's going to happen in September? I mean, we're about 45 days away until the Fed has a chance to cut rates. The Fed is going to say something or do something, and the economy is on pins and needles. And how big will the rate be? Cuts are okay, but let's say they cut 25 basis points. How will the market react? And let's say they cut 50 basis points.